Hello, farmers. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. Today is the 3rd of November, and I just wanted to welcome you to our YouTube channel as usual, or Facebook page, wherever you're watching us from. It's a beautiful morning here in Australia, and so greetings from myself, Baraka. For those that are here for the first time, my name is Baraka, like I said. I'm the founder of Baraka Boa Goats Farm that is found in Uganda, roughly about 1.5 hours from Kampala. So if it's the first time, please welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you're regular, again, I want to thank you for being a royal follower, and we want to thank you for your feedback. We've been getting a lot of feedback from you guys. People have been asking about opening up WhatsApp groups. People want us to supply them with goats across the country, actually, from Arua, Gulu, uh, Shema, Shema district, um, and even from Sudan and Burundi and Tanzania. So thank you guys. We really thank you so much. Mujye baleko bannayuganda banaffe nammwe tubalamusiza nnyo abantu b'e Uganda. Mwebale nnyo kutuninga ini okubeera naffe. Amannya nze Baraka nga bulijjo wa Baraka Boa Goats Nakasongola awo. Abantu baffe tubaagala nnyo abatufollowinga n'abatatufollowinga nabo mpolampola mujja kutuuka mutufollowinge mututegeere nti weetuli. Abagamba olunyankole mwe twabaramutya abanyankole mwena amazina nde Baraka nk'uko naabagambira wa Baraka Boa Goats. Twabakira kandi twabashemererwa. N'abavuga Ikinyarwanda mwese turabasuhuje cyane. Abantu bose badufollowinga hirya no hino y'isi, murakoze cyane kandi karibu. So today, guys, I'm going to speak in English as usual, because I guess it's a language that we all share, or we can all, I guess, hear very well. As usual, I promise when I get time to come and talk to you guys about specific goats farming tips, right? And today's topic is going to specifically focus on workers or management of goats farm. Right? So usually I've been speaking about looking after goats. How do you look after your goats? Sharing certain ideas, how many goats you need to start with, for instance, the breeds, what do you need to start your goats farming, vaccinations, what kind of medication you need, how to look after kids, proper management of kids, that kind of stuff. So today I'm going to change a little bit. This topic is not often talked about, the topic of workers, the people that actually look after your farm. These are very, very important people. Your success of the farm will depend on how well these people are trained and how well they are looked after. So therefore, it's very important. We cannot disregard them in the equation. They need to be refocused on, they need to be trained, and they need to be looked after very well. So today, guys, I'll talk to you about duties of the farm workers. What do you expect them to do? For most people, they hire people to look after their farms, but first of all, they don't know whether these people are qualified or not. And also, they don't have the exact role description of what these people can do at your farm. So it's very, very important. Today, I'm going to take you step by step what you expect people to do at your farm in order for you to have your goats or your animals looked after very well. Number one is your health and well-being of your animals. So as a farm worker, it's very, very important that they know how to spot sick animals, for instance, and do it in time, right? And as soon as they see the sick animals, then it can be monitored. The earlier they can detect it, the better. They can monitor it, and it can receive the treatment by the workers, for instance. And if they can't really do a good job, assume that it's not responding, then it's time to invite in the vet. But the most important thing is they need to be able to see the signs and symptoms. Now, some of them may not know all diseases, but they need to have basic understanding or basic knowledge, or at least be willing to learn how to do so, okay? You might have a mix of workers, some of them who know, some of them who don't. Then it's good time that you bring in an external person to come and train your workers, or at least the worker that knows what to do, or at least the manager should be able to train all the other workers on what to do. Now, like I've said before, your goats need to live in somewhere that is very clean. right? So therefore, cleaning the goat's house is one of the tasks that you expect them to do, making sure that it's very well cleaned, the storage room, you're gonna have the storage where you keep your equipments, the yard, make sure all of them are tidied properly, and then also the actual feeding of animals, right? So the animals need to be fed very well. And then yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things that you need to do with you can expect your workers to know. There may be other things like maintaining the farm work, basically. So I've said cleaning the yard, right? Other than cleaning the yard, the workers need to be able to actually do a bit of maintenance, whether it's a fence that they're working on, or other equipments. Make sure that they're looked after very well. So you may have like records, all of them need to be updated, whether it's vaccination records or just animal counting, which needs to be done every single day. I encourage my workers to do animal counting every morning and every evening when they're coming back. That way we know if an animal is missing, and we need to know as soon as possible. Your workers may also help with animal deliveries. That's why it's important to leave your animals at home. Don't let them roam around if they're about to deliver kids, right? And it's very, very, very clear why we do that. The reason we do that is because we want the goats to give birth in a monitored place where they can be assisted with the deliveries, but also the kids can be well looked after. There's a lot of predators, there's a lot of issues out there in the bush, so it's important that they produce at home. There's other tasks like castrating, loading and offloading, tagging, a whole bunch of stuff that farm workers, they need to be aware of what to do. Now, guys, like I've said, a few things about tasks. In summary: cleaning, the feed, the storage rooms, the kraals, the yards, tidying up, all that kind of stuff. Examining the animals and detecting illnesses, injuries, diseases, checking them on a day-to-day basis, morning and evening, and then administering the medication as appropriate. And if they can't, alert yourself to alert the vet to do the needful, right? Maintaining small works around the farm, e.g. fencing, book records, and equipments and vaccination schedules, and then assisting with the deliveries, as well as tagging, cutting the horns or trimming the feet. Some of this stuff you may get an external person to do them if they can't, but you need to get your workers to monitor and be watching how they're doing it, or get an external person to come and train them. Okay, it's possible that you have workers who don't know anything, but as long as they have the willingness to do the work, then that's very important that you train them, give them the knowledge, and then just monitor them as they go. I've talked so much about the responsibilities, and I think it's very, very important that if I talk about responsibilities, I also talk about the rights that they have as workers, right? They have right to be paid very well, decent amount based on the standards of the country or where your farm is located, because they too have responsibility. They have families that they need to look after, and so on and so forth, right? It's very important that you feed your workers very well. Now, they need to be fed, obviously. They may need some allowances, be looked after when they're sick and stuff like that. It's very, very important that you're aware of those things, and basically talk to them as human beings. Now, I know some workers will take advantage of the situation and you being nice to them and all this, but that's where you need to step in and monitor the workers and see how they're responding. The reality is, if your workers are looked after very well, paid good, decent amount, and also paid decent amount, and fed properly and looked after and feel respected, the chances are your workers will actually stay for longer. If you see that there's a low turnout of workers, so you hire workers, within 1 or 2 months they leave, or they run away, then you need to understand that there's an issue. Either they're underpaid, or they're being mistreated, or don't feel respected, or they just don't want the work. It's not always because they're not well looked after. There may be some other things, But the chances are that if they're not well looked after, the neighbor or someone else will come and take over your workers and they go work for them. And you don't want that to happen, okay? So be mindful that the better we can look after them, the better we can monitor them and talk to them regularly, the better it's going to assist your farm to perform very well. if you're not there physically, like myself, that isn't there always, you need to have physical cameras that are controlling key areas of the farm. I'm talking about the goat's house, the entrances, the exits, the kids area, and watering area, just to know what time the water feeding, what time they're leaving, what time they're coming in, did they all coming, which one is delivering, and what's going on. I understand you may say, oh, it's a bit costly, blah blah, but trust me, it's not that costly. uh, to install a camera of 700K and have the freedom to control your farm. It's as if you're actually there. So it's very, very important. Think about it. If you need that help, I'm always more than happy to help you guys with that kind of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, as I've said, make sure that you have a schedule at your farm. Make it very clear what time you expect your workers to get up, what time it is, and what they need to do in the morning. So they make sure there's a morning routine and an evening routine, and who's doing what and when. Do not make a mistake of involving your family members into your businesses, running your businesses, because they're gonna run them. Okay, I repeat this one more time. Okay, do not make a mistake of not wanting to hire workers, right, that will do the job for you, and let your family members run your businesses, because they're gonna run them, and nothing is gonna go well. Okay, so it's very, very important that you hire people that are qualified, get external workers to come and train your workers, and keep an eye on the workers and how they're performing, and everything else. Okay, like I've said, have the morning routine. Wake up, for instance, wake up 6 a.m. When you wake up, some people are gonna go milking, some people are gonna go doing animal welfare. Before you do anything, check the animal from the horn all the way to the feet. Every animal, even kids, see the ones with the area, the ones that have swelling, the ones that have issues on their feet, the ones that have eye problems, a whole bunch of stuff can happen overnight, the ones that are missing. That's why they have to do head count on each and every time, So guys, it's very, very important that this video is listened to, especially people that are starting. I've been getting a lot of people asking me, I'm starting, but I don't know, I don't have any idea on where to start and what to do and stuff like that. Things are possible. You don't have to be physically there, and you don't need your family members to run everything for you. It's possible that you can get people that you can work with, basically, and make sure that everything is highly supervised. On a day-to-day basis, you need to talk to your workers, you need to do a count of your goats and tag them. Make sure the goats are tagged, and so that you have the good record keeping of your goats. All right, guys. Sorry, my video is a little bit long today, but I just thought I'd make these points very clear. And if you have any questions, guys, as usual, feel free to message me on our WhatsApp or Facebook, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful one.